channel. You know what time it is, no press fam. Welcome all to another episode of The Beatdown, the segment where we take multitudes of characters from across many universes and have them battle it out. I am your gracious host, Class. And if you enjoy our content, share, like, subscribe, and become a No Press fan member. We put out new episodes every week. Also, if you want to learn about origins or abilities, check out our playlist titled Brief Origins or BAF. With introduction said, let's get down to the beating. In this corner representing DC Comics, Imperiex Prime. Now let's talk about the endgame. His probes are a big help in the numbers game hands, as yes, the probes aren't strong enough to finish off Galactus no matter how many you throw at him, but it is enough to overwhelm Galactus' Herald, which means no helping hand for Galactus to rely on, but Imperiex Prime has an army to call upon to keep the Silver Surfer busy and away while using additional ones to be a pest to Galactus as they do battle. Using the Big Bang energy within himself completely is always an option, as he manages to store it within himself. There's a chance he can focus all that energy on Galactus, and the giant being is insanely strong, but ain't no way the type of force doesn't produce some sort of damage that could cause injuries or have a fatal strike produced because of it. Cosmic awareness is definitely a good tool to have here, as this provides preparation time for Imperiex Prime, as he will be aware of Galactus' arrival many miles away. Now with this, he can create a shrink ray to down his size, gives him a chance to create a massive army of probes to rely on to keep the upper hand, devour more planets to gain more energy source to rely on, kind of like Galactus did, time travel to his place and time to obtain all he needs to know about Galactus, including his weaknesses. An example of that weakness is the ultimate nullifier, which Imperiex Prime can possess and use to put the hurting on Galactus the very least. The opportunities being prepared for your enemy has a very high benefit. Keep Galactus hungry, while Imperiex does devour worlds as well. He does it to correct what he thinks is a problem, while Galactus does it to stay strong and fit. Take away his food source for too long, and in this case planets to devour, and you got yourself a weakened Galactus, which favors Imperiex Prime tremendously. Wildcard: enter the Marvel world and get a hold of the Phoenix Force's power somehow. If he can absorb the Force, he could definitely have Galactus' number on this fight for sure. Study Galactus before taking him on firsthand. Using his probes, he could use a few battle strategies to test out the giant. After some time throwing wave of probes at him, he could eventually determine how to approach him and beat him with what he has learned. The difference between the two might be slightly not that different, but the noticeable one is the power they both carry. Galactus is a cosmic threat, absolutely, but where his cosmic Imperiex is above that, as he has the power alone to wipe out existence if he chooses. Threatening Galactus with that means he would potentially bend the knee, as this means no more hunger source to feed on, or possibly him as well. With the combination of his armor and the power within it, he has plenty to throw at Galactus, and if he had to resort to drastic measures, Imperiex could just simply wipe out existence, taking Galactus with it and gaining the W on this end. In this corner representing Marvel Comics, Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds. Alright, now let's talk about the endgame. He too has had his brush with the Big Bang energy, so an explosion like that might not be enough to do the trick, but it's hard to say for sure. His hunger takes some time to get there, so unless he gets Galactus at that time, At the time he's eating or just found a world to consume, there's no chance he's going to tire him out before Galactus gets done with him. He fought Celestials and can only be put down by their combined forces. Impressive as Imperiex Prime's moments in comics were against an army of DC characters including the likes of Darkseid, Brainiac, Superman Prime, and the list goes on. With the combined forces of a Celestial, they could easily one-shot all of those characters who fought Imperiex and Imperiex himself. I say this to say Galactus has taken bigger hits and put down heavier foes, not to say he can't put the work on Imperiex Prime almost with relative ease. Another to mention is Galactus has way more of a resume in Marvel than Imperiex Prime. His record shows his feats are consistent, whereas Imperiex Prime's only has glance of times to where the moment where he has shined. This to say his record shows he can beat the best of them, making this fight almost one-sided. Crack the armor and he has a chance at finishing him off once and for all. Within Imperiex, has an energy source from the Big Bang itself. One crack in the armor and he might go off. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, Galactus could go too. And then technically it was Imperiex who took out Galactus. But hold your horses. Galactus there might be a few options. For instance, he might be able to absorb it given he's consumed energy forces before. Could happen. Another option is Galactus teleports him to a place outside his realm where the Big Bang won't have so much of an impact, or rip a hole between reality and nothingness and throw him in there, or go inside it himself and wait for the explosion and then come back out and go back to his normal realm. He can power up to Lifebringer and for sure in this form body up Imperiex Prime, as this form is when he has a full belly and enough juice to bring another thing back with ease. Another form he can use is to get the job done is when he consumes 5 planets and really puts the Black Winter in its place. And this level might be enough to call it for Galactus. The ultimate nullifier is a very useful piece of weaponry to have for this special occasion, as it's known to absorb a ton of energy, meaning it could put a damp on Imperiex Prime's power source, and quite possibly taking him out as well when doing so. He also has another weapon within himself, and that's his massive brain. This big man has obtained wisdom and knowledge throughout his lifetime, which could mean he has met someone of Imperiex Prime's abilities or found a way to outsmart this type of character. Brains and bronze are way better than just having one over the other. Gadgets that can teleport or drain him, a genius intellect to form strategies against such a threat, and if properly fed and leveled up, he definitely is giving Imperiex a fight for his life, leaving Galactus a chance to devour him and claim victory for himself. As always, No Press fam, it's not up to me, it's up to you guys. So if you guys like either one of my arguments, you know what you can do. You can hashtag Galactus or you can hashtag Imperiex Prime. And as always, No Press fam, we really appreciate you guys keeping it 800 subs. Peace. Shout out to all my content supporters. We're not working together, but we like to give credit where credit is due. Ivan the Unstoppable for all the knowledge of comic feats, Watch Mojo for origins and for all the background videos, Comic Historian, Comics Explained, and key issues. Go ahead and check them out and tap into the world of comics by supporting other creators. Link to channels will be in the description below.